at the top, right here at the top where it says United States. This is data that is being drawn from the entire country. It's not going to be beneficial for us because we are a local service-based business that only caters to a radius. All right, so it's important that we change that. All right, so all I did was clicked on it. So now I have the option to add the city. All right, add the city that pretty much we want to cater to. All right, so as you see, the first one, it has Atlanta, Georgia. Now, if you notice, and this, you'll see this a lot with big cities. All right, so at the top it says Atlanta, Georgia, and then at the bottom, the second one says Atlanta, Georgia, United States, Nelson, DMA region. So a lot of times what happens, and you'll be able to see the difference. So it's Atlanta is also considered the outskirts. The cities that's on the outskirts is also considered Atlanta as well in some cases. So if I click on this one, you see now it's taking up an even larger space, right? So in this case, we definitely want to do that because Atlanta is a huge city, and a lot of people, Atlanta is the mecca of the music industry. So, people will travel from the north all the way down to Atlanta, and vice versa. They'll travel from the east to the west just so they can say they're in Atlanta. So it's not too far off. All right. So now that we changed it, now we got some more accurate data. All right. So what do we see here? So it's a couple things. And also I'm going to add, you see up here at the top where it says broaden your search. So now, it's giving us options, to add on. So I'm going to click on the add for Atlanta recording. I think that's a good keyword. Hit results again. All right. So we got our city, at the top, you see the data that is providing us is from pretty much for the most recent year. All right, I can change this if I want to do, all of it, like all the data that's available, which is the last 4 years. I can do the last 24 months, 12 months, last month. We just do the last year. Uh, Depending on how in depth you want to get, all of the data is good, so you can see the trends. All right. So what do we see here? So at the top on this graph, it's showing us a chart. So it's showing us a mobile chart and then the total. So the red is how many people that are searching, right? How many people that are searching for these particular keywords, in Atlanta, Georgia, in each month, right? So it shows us the mobile, then the total. For us to get the desktop, all we got to do is subtract the mobile from the total. All right, and then also it's showing us, is it a, decline or incline, right? When it comes to the amount of searches. So also you're able to see, is there a certain period of time, like is there a certain, period of the year to where it's certain sections, certain months is getting more searches than others. Are there more busier times than others? Is there dead seasons? Like this is also good for you. Now, this doesn't technically tell you sales, but it search intent does have a big reflection on sales. Minus the reoccurring customers. You can't track everything, but this is good data. You know, because it shows you what people are searching. How are they searching it? All right. So based on this information, we go off the prior year, you know, it's a consistent 45, 40, 50,000 on one. That was on January. So, automatically this looks like a pretty high one. So, you know how it goes, new year, new me, people New Year's resolutions, they want to start grinding, putting the work in. So that's probably explains that spark. And then, drops back down. February, people lose their motivation. We're back up in March, but looks like summertime is really the hot time. August, July, June, summertime is go time, and then it starts to come down. Looks like Christmas time and February is the lowest points when it comes to search intent. So this is definitely some good data, guys. So now as we scroll, all right, so at the top, we got two sections. We got the keywords that we selected, and then we have keyword ideas that Google generated based on the information that we provided. All right, so let's break this down. What is this, right? What are we saying? So next to the keywords, you can organize it. Of course, as you see, I just hit this button. Let's organize it by the amount of searches per keyword per month. All right, so now we can see not only the keywords that we search, but which ones are, worth it. Like which ones are really like getting searches. What are people really looking for, and et cetera, right? So as we got 1, 2, 3, 4 that are tied for the same amount, and that's Atlanta Recording Studio, Music Studios Atlanta, Recording Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, Music Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, and these are actually keyword ideas. Actually, so when I changed it to show me the top ones, these are keyword ideas. So now, Google is providing you with idea keywords that have strong search intent as well. Without it, I would have never known that these keywords are that strong. So average monthly searches, this is how many times on average the keyword is getting searched. As you see, we got the chart where it's giving us, showing us the average as well, right? So 3-month change, showing us like, okay, is it up or down? Every 3 months is giving us the percentage of change in the keyword. So it's on the up and up, so that's good. Year over year change, instead of 3 months, it's showing us yearly change. All right, so some more important information. So if you scroll over, we see it says competition. So this is important because it shows you, okay, is this keyword, is it high? Is it competitive? Is it a highly competitive keyword, or is it not? So if we look, it's a lot of keywords that are not very competitive according to Google. So that's good because, when a keyword is not that competitive, you're going to see a couple correlations. All right. And one of the correlations, and it technically depends on your industry. All right. So if we move over again, past ad impression shares, it doesn't show us anything for that, but top of page bid low range and top of page bid high range. This is important to understand. All right. So what this means, and you'll understand a little bit more once we get into that section, but basically what this is telling you guys is, depending on your bid setting, this is going to determine whether your ad is showing up at the top of the page on the front page of Google, or it's showing at the bottom of the page on Google. All right, ads can show at the top or the bottom. So if you're telling Google, hey, I'm only willing to spend $1.17 per click, per conversion, etc., then Google is going to place you with the competitors that's also competing with that bottom of the Google page. All right. So if you're only willing to bet around $1, then you're going to be on the bottom of the page, which is not a bad thing. But you got to understand there's a reason why it's a difference in price difference. If you tell Google you're willing to pay $4.27, then that means you're going to compete with the competitors on the top of the page, on the top of Google, right? When someone goes on Google and the first thing they see is you, that's what you're telling Google. All right. So just to kind of give you guys